Hopefully I'm in frame. If not, it's whatever. I'm in Houston at Necrofier's headquarters, the rehearsal room with my good friend, Mr. Christian Larson. How you doing, my man?
Good, man.
Dude, Terror Corps fucking killed it last night.
Thank you.
Yeah, for your first show, I was fucking blown away. I mean, everything about it, the energy, the heaviness, it was all there. And so, congrats on that.
Thanks.
Yeah, dude. So, you made the formal announcement for Hell's Heroes. The complete lineup is out there in the ether. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about everything that goes into planning and your inspiration. Like, I guess, what made you want to go with this lineup?
So usually it starts somewhere, even for next year about now, where I start putting ideas together. And that can just be a couple things on the smaller level I just really want to get on there. To, okay, cool, this band's going to take a little bit of time to work on. So let me dive into that.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, I mean, all the planning in the world goes like out the window and I have to switch gears. This year, I mean, so Blood, Fire, Death was on the top of the list of what I wanted to get.
Yeah.
Like after Beyond the Gates, I was just like, dude, blown away. I was like, America needs this. And originally tried for it, and it looked like it wasn't going to happen. And then some things changed, and we're here.
Yeah.
So very happy about that. But like this year, like I had here's what the plan was going to go, and then plan changed, and the plan changed again. Some years, this is what I want, and exactly what I want happens, and everything's great. And then other years, I'm chasing, okay, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Yeah.
But being this is the 8th year of the fest. So, I mean, there's I've booked a lot of the bands, and I've booked not every band I've ever wanted to have on it, but especially a ton of ones I never thought would ever play America and things like that. So it's getting to the point where I have to really kind of put some extra thought and time into who's coming, who I want to get.
Yeah.
Now stuff's getting weird with visa stuff, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it isn't the end of the world. But pretty happy how this year came out. We want to have Loudness for a while. I mean, they're killer. They haven't been in the States in a while. What is it? Dora we had a couple years ago. Yeah. And she fucking killed it.
Every time I watch her, she kills it every single time.
It's just, I've never seen anybody at the fest just command the crowd like that set. So, it was I wanted to have her back doing the Triumph set. So I was, just do full Warlock.
Fucking A.
Go for it. So that worked out pretty well. What else on the fest this year? Enslaved set?
Enslaved set.
Okay, so that Enslaved set I've wanted to happen for a while.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like the Frost set or this and that, and I was like, no, first record. Just total fucking because that's before, Enslaved it was evolved over the years. And that was they were fucking kids when that record came out, and it's just pure 90s black metal. There's even synth all over that record.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. I'm really happy about that one. Udo doing Balls to the Wall. I feel like the first video I ever even remember watching as a kid on Headbangers Ball was Balls to the Wall. And what the fuck is going on this river?
Yeah.
All the dudes just fucking smashing their heads in the wall, wrecking ball. Comes around because I guess that was in 1994, 93. So
yeah.
Fast forward 30 years and it's cool, all the fest kind of thing.
I feel like you should have prepared a list of all the lineups.
Yeah, because
it's so big.
Because even over we don't have to go over every single band. But
no.
I can touch. It's Voivod wanted to have them for a while, except Voivod tours a lot, so that's and I was like, hey, will you guys do a set of all the 80s things?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we'll do that. Destruction, that set. I've been wanting that set for a while. And that actually worked out, and they were super stoked to do it. So
fucking A.
That doesn't always happen with some of the older bands.
Yeah.
Sometimes you ask them, "Well, you guys do this album?" And it's like, "Why?" What do you mean why?
Because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's why.
They have to explain to them, about festies. It's kind of thing. A lot of special sets and different things than they would do if they play other shows. A lot of times they go for it. Sometimes they don't. But What else on there? 3 Inches of Blood I've been wanting to have for a while. It just hadn't worked out.
Yeah.
Like, I tried it like last couple of years. But
Manila Road.
no, oh yeah, because I mean the Vanilla Road dudes is basically everybody was playing with Mark before like he passed. So
Yeah.
The show, like I mean, we tried like when the fest started, I tried to have him on, except the weekends we had the fest the first couple of years were the same weekend that they had a Ren Fest in Kansas, and they did that. I mean that was like their thing, so they could never play it.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have at least like have a little tribute to Mark next year with all that stuff.
Fucking A, man. Dude, like,
What are you excited about?
I mean, obviously, what we mentioned already, the Blood,
Yeah.
Fire, Death. I mean, you and I were both at the Beyond the Gate show in Bergen last year, and man, like, I was pretty up front in the thick of that fucking crowd in Greek Holland, and I was just totally blown away by, like, every dude that comes from, just the pioneers of black metal paying tribute to Corthon and Bathory. So seeing Frederick, seeing Apollyon and whoever else is, Blasphemer, Faust, all those guys coming to the States, whatever, that's gonna be fucking sick, dude.
There's gonna be a little bit of it, like because like they've been doing a lot of shows, especially now, like
Yeah.
in Europe, and they do some in South America. So the lineup will be like they're gonna announce like what the official everybody playing it is probably in the next couple of months.
Okay.
But, but it's like core guys will be there, and
Right.
then kind of I don't think Gall's gonna get into the country, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But it's still like, it's not gonna be, they're not gonna be replaced with somebody that you don't know. kind of
Exactly.
thing,
Yeah. And but man, I mean, I should have printed out the lineup. Seriously. that way I'm gonna be prepared.
Well, okay.
But to be fair, we had a fucking killer night last night.
Yeah, we had a long night. So
Silent Green played the fucking triumphant return of Silent Green. Descended upon the secret group in Texas. So we're just, some of us are hungover.
just sweating to death.
Just sweating to death still, just kind of tired, but we're bringing it to you, goddammit.
Let's see. We can touch on. I mean, basically, because we don't have to talk about every single band. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's almost a lot. But those, that's like the top of the billing.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of newer stuff I'm excited about on there. 1 and 9. You listen to them at all?
No, I don't think
it's like Lord of the Rings, kind of Tolkien black metal.
I'm into it.
From the Carolinas somewhere.
Dude, can't go wrong with anything from Carolina. I mean, it's just history has shown, and we talked about Chad Davis in Hour 13 a few months ago.
Man, that was really cool. You had him on.
Oh yeah, dude, thanks for that. The Chad is just such a genuine dude, and I didn't hit him up about what you were gonna do with him or anything like that, but I will. I'll have that conversation. But Hour 13 from North Carolina, man. I mean, they're just fucking
amazing.
sick. Yeah, just straight up fucking doom rock and roll.
Hopefully sometime like that'll end up working out, but for the foreseeable future. I don't know.
What I hear is, from what I've been told, is that his other project, the Sabathian, is they're back in the studio and
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd
Okay.
be, just
Let me talk.
yeah, just putting that out there.
Because it's like it gets tough, like especially because like a lot of the bands, like the stuff I want to put on the fest that's different or like doesn't play. A lot of these guys like they record their stuff and like it's almost not even a band.
Right.
I mean, some of like a lot of the stuff hasn't even ever been rehearsed before. It's like somebody wrote the stuff, put all the stuff together. Other people kind of maybe it all came together just written, and then they're like, cool, there's the record, but they weren't say in a rehearsal room, like working it out.
Yeah.
So by the time you're asking people to play shows, they're like, this has never been played live ever.
And you also, what I really appreciate what you do with Hell's Heroes is that you give a lot of like young local talent, some stage presence. It gives them some exposure. What kind of local acts you got going on this year?
This year, Labyrinth's playing.
Yeah.
Labyrinth's been doing stuff like all over the states, touring with like Void and stuff from
Lafayette.
And just killer thrash stuff. Like they've been like pushing it really hard for years.
Yeah, they have.
Always end up in like California playing like a couple big shows and doing things like that. So also like in Texas, like Steel Bearing Hand have been harassing Wyatt for years. So they're finally gonna do another show fest. But that's all. A lot of it sometimes is just me just asking people that don't do anything anymore to be like, will you do this? So usually the answer is never yes.
Yeah.
Like immediately. It's it's more complicated than that. So it's a couple years of being like So what's up?
Man, so like I mean, we touched on it in your first episode whenever we're talking about Necrofier. We talked about Hell's Heroes and your involvement with that, but I like to talk about when it comes to the organization part and all the logistics and everything. It's like you have already you told me that you've worked for Live Nation for some years, right?
Yeah, it was like Live Nation, Clear Channel, that kind of thing, whatever, from probably like 2003 to 2010 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while, but yeah.
So, I mean, obviously like all the ins and outs, like the nuts and bolts of getting, a festival of this magnitude set up. If you could just break it down to the people who are interested, naming myself, like start to finish, like how I mean, you get
Usually,
interested in some bands.
Yeah. So it starts off usually with me with just ideas, and then I go out and try to find who's ever available, who works financially, a bunch of different factors. So that usually is like, it's a good 6-month process at least. Then once I get that done, other people I work at the White Oak, we get stuff like a marketing plan set up with the marketing staff. And then, get like ticketing, all this stuff, and the show gets on sale. And then marketing pushes the show throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then behind all that, then we have like Christy works with me. Christy's like getting all the hotels booked. And then she has like a sheet of when everybody's flying in that like we're taking care of. And then she has a sheet of when they get picked up, and then when they're getting picked up for their show. And then, I mean, it's insane. It looks like, something out of like a, like a dude searching for a serial killer where it's like there's all this stuff going sometimes. And then, we have like, and Mark works with me. Mark does like, he handles more like production aspect of it with, he advances with the bands, tells them what we have for backline, some like, like headliners and stuff, get like some different things if they need it. So he advances all that stuff to make sure we're all on the same page. If they have any, like, just here's like the details of everything you got, times, things like that. We have another person advance merch with them, just being like, hey, this is the situation set up, make sure it's in here. And then after that, there's like a zillion different other things. Like Krista usually handles a lot of it, where it's like passes, how many things are we going to order, coordinating a couple people to do food. We have like usually like 15 or 20 vendors, so it's like talking to all them.
Yeah.
And she makes a big map of where everything's going to go. And then we get Louisa runs the bar. Louisa gets like special drinks set up. Where are we going to set this stuff? Basically, also with the vendors and the bars, everything's kind of set up. There's a flow. And even down to like we print a banner of the fest, like the image for the year, so everybody can come out and like take a picture of it and like where are we going to put it?
Yeah.
When are we going to order it? I mean, a lot of stuff. I feel like there's just so much extra things. Like when it gets closer, we have a lot of meetings, and over the years, it's gotten a little bit easier because we know the things we need to do.
Right.
And then we'll have like even extra stuff. Like Luis will set up like a couple sponsors, and they come in and they bring some stuff, do other things. It's just I feel like there's a ton of stuff never happens. Tina runs merch. I mean, it's like a whole thing in itself because you got 15 bands a day coming to give her stuff, and then she's got to like sort them in and out and then do the things for them. I mean, yeah, it just doesn't ever stop. Another Sierra I work with coordinates a lot of stuff with bands, just like checking in with them, getting paid. Just it just doesn't stop. Like,
yeah.
But without all them, like it can never ever do it.
Yeah. It sounds like a process. It sounds like basically like a small military outfit.
Yeah.
Like something that I was a part of.
When it was one day, it was like it's one day like it's a lot of it was like 10 bands, but it was just a big show.
Yeah.
Here's all the stuff. This is what we're gonna do. Here's all the times people be here, this and that. And the next year it was a little bit more, and then it's like continuously grew. And now it's like this whole thing. Like I spend like tons of time in December and January buying like too many flights. I get with like the visa guys to get everything visa stuff rolling, like from the summer to now, just so everything's done in time. Just a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah, man.
Like it's sometimes I forget. I'm like, yeah, it's no big thing, and I'm like, oh, well, I say that because maybe I'm just constantly working on it and don't really ever remember that it's something else that I have to do, that I do, rather than it's just kind of part of everything at this point.
Yeah, it's like as soon as the last note has been strung on White Oak stage, it seems like a couple of days later, you make the announcement for the following date for next year's date, and then months from there, you've got you give all the peasants like myself, hey,
here's a little treat.
Yeah, here's what's coming up, next year.
I mean, it's a lot. Like, you know, it's getting to the point where it's like hitting the point with bands where, you know, like I want to make sure the festival does, like it has. Yeah, I'd rather do the festival the right way, with the right bands than do it. You know, so it's like a lot of work. And there's like now since I've done so many of them, there's like X amount of bands left, so I have to either work extra hard or you know like figure something out. You know, the way it goes.
Yeah.
So far, it's still worked out. So.
I mean, man, you're doing it. You've been killing it. Like you and your staff, and everyone that's like supporting you, is killing it because it's 8 years. We're going 8 years doing it, and it just seems like there was never a point where every metalhead, despite whatever they be into genre-wise, I mean, there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
And we talked about that before, and it's just like, I know here in the States, we're very particular of what we want to listen to, but you have something for everything.
Because like I mean, it's like Strongly it started, and mostly a lot of years it's like traditionally heavy metal based. But there's a good amount of like snuck more black metal in the last couple of years. I like black metal a lot.
Yeah.
But then like new bands that there's like a couple doom bands that sneak in, some stuff like that, where it's it's kind of like where they say MDF keeps it where it's like a death metal festival, and then like it's like an extreme stuff and grind, and there's but but Orange Goblin played it last year.
Yeah.
So like it's like I'm the same way, except like heavy metal is kind of like the base. And yeah, but it's like it's a good time, and I feel like that's the best thing. Like somehow it just became a place where a lot of people just meet up and hang for like that's the only time they see some of these people that year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just there's usually no issues with crowd. Everybody's everybody's just there to see some stuff and have a good time.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you two questions.
Okay.
First, what is the best moment for like every year for you as an organizer? Like what gives you that sense like, okay, this feels good. I feel good about it.
Well, it's crazy stuff like say best example is like a couple of years ago. It was Tom G. Warrior and Sakis. Or like they were both different years, but both of them like came up to me after they played, and we were talking for a while, and they were just talking about how like special this was, and like they never really get to do anything like this in America, and like it means a lot, and like they can't believe it exists because usually anything like that is always European. So to hear like guys that have played festivals in Europe for who knows how many years, be like this is amazing, we were treated so good, and the show was so good, is like it's mind blowing like.
Yeah.
It happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fuck. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. And then, flip side of that coin, what's one of the moments that you could really do without when it comes to organizing this festival?
Last year I think was the most of it. Usually it's like cancellations.
Yeah.
And it can be for any reason. Like a lot of like because visa thing became a thing last year because the wait time became really long in a lot of them. So I handle some visas and some bands handled their own visas.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of them that I guess just maybe whoever was handling them filed them later, and it came down to the wire, and they just didn't get everything in time.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, fucking 2 days for the festival or the first day of the festival, and someone calls me like, yeah, well, that didn't happen. Blah's not going to be here tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, thanks for letting me know. So I have to scramble last minute, which usually means that like somebody at the fest is playing another set because at that time you can't do anything.
Right.
And then, there's like a list of, just everybody starts complaining. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Because, also it's like, I can't just pick whatever band to have another set.
Yeah.
It has to be somebody like, all of them are still going to be there. Maybe they, like, some bands don't, like, some of these bands play for, like, Enforcer did 2 sets this year because Onslaught couldn't play.
Yeah.
But I knew Enforcer plays like 2-hour sets on the headline. So I'm all, you guys know a whole different set, right? I was like, yeah, we do. I was like, I need you to fill in to Marty Down.
That's amazing. They had that in their fucking back pocket,
Because it's like, because people are like, you should go up blah, and everybody's got their opinion. But on some of that, like, I don't answer everybody's questions because it's just insane. Because the speculation's also kind of entertaining.
Right.
But, some of the bands are like, well, this guy played yesterday, you should have him play today. I'm like, they flew home this morning. Like, stuff like, there's a billion different factors. So, like, last minute things, it's like, changing stuff like that is just, it's insane.
Yeah.
Because there's no, you don't really, you don't ever win.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like all of a sudden, somebody cancels in January, I can get somebody usually decent to, for the most part, maybe replace them or something like that. But when it's super last minute, like no one's happy. And I'm just sitting there like, and after a while, after a certain amount of bands, because last year I think we had like 8 bands throughout the year canceled for different things. From you know, like Sadist got in all that trouble, and the band just broke up.
Oh shit.
You know, Hour 13.
Yeah.
The band Chad put together fell apart. And
Yeah.
it was like, you know, Visa stuff messed up with Onslaught. You know, just a billion different things. Because, you know, it's like, and then after a certain amount of, when you have 50 bands playing a fest, you know, something's going to happen. So then everybody's like, what's going on? And, you know, I'm like, oh, you can't control all, you know, like, there's a lot of factors.
Yeah, definitely. Man, and
But I got through a lot of years where we didn't fucking have any cancellations. I was like,
yeah, if they could all just
like
go
one
like
band,
this.
One band's like, hey, we got like something happened and we're not gonna be able to do this. I'm like, cool. And I like just replace them. And all like half the people don't even notice.
Yeah, yeah. Because
long-
because it's a stacked fucking
Yeah.
lineup every single year.
Usually, as long as it's not somebody like on the top of the bill, it's not like or like super special coming from overseas. It's like that's when it starts being like outcry of like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want this to happen.
Yeah, definitely,
It's
man.
just shit that happens.
I mean, you've been doing this for 8 years. How much of your networking plays into getting the lineup, man?
I would say a good amount. Like say Solitude Eternus. John Perez, I've been friends since probably 2010, maybe 2008. We've been on tour together. Like he was tour manager of Lucifer when I was doing Venomous Maximus, and hung out for like a month straight, kind of thing. So you know, like when I started the fest, I was like, you know, me and him are buddies. So I'm all, what's up?
Yeah.
When we do Solitude Eternus?
Yeah, yeah.
Not gonna happen. So just ask him every single fucking year. But
Yeah,
like, you
yeah.
know, and I see him sometimes, you know. But that's some of that, like on like meeting people and knowing people. Like, you know, if they don't play shows that often, it's like some of those people won't even do shows unless they have to investigate. Like, who's this dude? I kind of heard of this fest, you know. Like so, but if I get to know them, then it's like more likely they're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like people don't think about it, but you know, for some, to get even 4 people together to rehearse and play a bunch of songs is not the easiest thing, especially when if everybody's not active, like playing, you know.
Yeah, man. Because I'm just seriously impressed. Like there's always some bands and there's always some sets that just jump out. I mean, you and I are very like-minded. We got very similar tastes, and it just feels like, it's like, you know what, man? It's like, I'm so glad Christian's pulling these bands out of the woodwork, just out of fucking nowhere, and doing these particular sets, because there's a ton of nostalgia to go around for a lot of old metalheads like ourselves, you know, and you also involve the new crop of talent that comes through. So, you know, I mean, I can't speak highly enough about you and the festival, dude. So I appreciate it going on, man.
My favorite's like when it's like dudes like say like Demolition Hammer or something like that.
Yeah.
Demolition Hammer is great, right?
Yeah.
But there's a big difference between Demolition Hammer is a great band and like they come out and the siren goes on and the pit starts, and before they're even playing, there's like a kid in a trash can crowd surfing across the crowd. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I mean, it's amazing. But, because there's a lot of things the fest is just kind of organically. I mean, I feel like why a lot of stuff is the way it is, because it just became what it is because of everybody that comes and like how it just kind of all worked.
Right.
I mean, like Books and Bands, yeah, it's just a show, but
Yeah.
like it's like how everybody embraced it and receives it, and how they act when they're there is what it becomes, you know.
And the fact that it's like I said, like as soon as this one in March, right?
Yeah.
March 21st, I believe it is. What's the dates on it?
1921, yeah.
1921. So March 19th to the 21st, be there. White Oak Music Hall, Houston, Texas. It's gonna go down like it has been for the past 7 years, and I'm just looking forward to it. Looking forward to the next one, brother. I can't wait to what you do next. So it's gonna be a great time, man.
Oh yeah.